All right.
Okay, welcome everyone. Thanks for accepting our invite. And this is a very interesting day for me, having Taha, Baris, and Batuhan in this meeting. So I think you all know Taha. He is very well known in Iranian game industry, working for more than 10 years and being a member of board at IGDA. I always forget this, and working also as a coach and game and product manager in Ava Games. Also, Baris is for me, is the most famous Turkish gaming industry figure, and also chairman at Joy Game. Also Buzachi, if I'm pronouncing right.
Boğaziçi.
Boğaziçi
Ventures, yeah.
I practiced it several times and then I failed. Yeah, and Joy Game is focusing on hyper casual and hybrid casual recently, and that's an honor having you here. And Batuhan is the founder of Mobidictum, a mobile gaming news website, also event organizer, and Mobidictum organizing also very helpful B2B events that I participate. Some of them, and one of them is in Istanbul, I think in September, and I hope I can participate on that one too. So we are discussing about gaming industry in Turkey and Iran, and I think that's a great opportunity to have you here, and it's all to you. I'm not interrupting anymore, and yeah, that's it. Batuhan is our host and moderator, and please.
Yes, well, thank you, Gülnar, for the introductions. Welcome, everyone. I want to thank Cafe Bazar for organizing, hosting this, but I will be the moderator for today. So we'll talk about similarities between two countries, Turkey and Iran, hyper-casual industry, what can Iran learn from the Turkey's success, if countries and developers and companies can collaborate together and so on to have a greater success on this. We have some couple of questions to amazing guests. I will start my first question with Baris. How did hyper-casual games progress in Turkey? Like, when did it start? What were the obstacles and opportunities when you compare to the previous years?
Well, I think it started around 3-4 years ago, or it started to accelerate 3-4 years ago. Of course, there were a couple of reasons why Turkey became so successful in hyper-casual games. First of all, the development capability of Turkey. I think it's the most important part. When we say development in gaming industry, of course, technical development is one side, game design is another side, and the art. So we had, especially art and development side was very strong in Turkey, but I cannot say that all the talents were coming to the gaming industry. The talents were working for the other industries for sure, but the hyper-casual games just fitted to the culture, the development culture of the country. They gave an opportunity to the entrepreneurs especially, and the opportunity was short-term. It also fits to our culture as well, because Turkish people are more enthusiastic to see the results as soon as possible, and hyper-casual games give this to you. I mean, in general, mobile games give that to you, but hyper-casual is super fast. That's why it fitted as well. At the same time, the economic situation in Turkey also helped, in my opinion, because the Turkish lira was devaluating. and generating US dollars from global markets became very fruitful, very beneficial here in Turkey. So we started to see multiple good cases in every city, in every university, people hearing that just a couple of friends earning good money, spending good money, even they are students, they are still at school. So it created a hype. And the most important part in the gaming industry is the talents, and all that hype helped the talents started to flow to the gaming industry. So in general, we attracted the talents. Together with the talents, the industry boomed in a very short period of time. Of course, the development capability was there, it was ready. And on the hyper casual games, game design is not that complicated, but following the trends is much more complicated. And Turkish people are very connected to the global culture, especially Western culture. So the Turkish people, especially the young people, they watch very similar things with the Americans or the Europeans. So they enjoy the same things. They listen the same things. They share a culture. And I think it is one of the most important things while you are designing an hyper casual game. So you know the culture, you can follow the trends. It's not like following the trends as a job. By nature, you are following trends, so you can create content accordingly. On top of it, you have the development power, and you get results in a short period of time, and then it boosts.
Well, thank you, Baris. Definitely, I agree with everything you say. We observing the market in the same way, I think. Well, Taha, my next question is to you. What do you see, like what kind of similarities between the two countries, and if Iran can replicate what success we had in Turkey?
There are a lot of similarities, and there are big differences as well. So I start with the similarities. We are dealing with the same situation as Baris said regarding the devaluation of our currency. So it creates like a big challenge and a big opportunity for us, because if you can kind of make even $1 from outside, it's worth a lot. So and we have a really big production capability as well. Maybe these are the similarities, but in terms of the differences, we are very, very, in my idea, we are behind the kind of trends, development trends, and the project management trends of the global game development community. And in my idea, it's making a hyper casual game is not different from making a free to play game, because at the end you have to add marketing and production management things inside. So it's not about only developing and making prototypes. It's about following a trend, following some marketing roadmap and stuff like that. This is what we hugely lack in Iran, because we have not been in touch with the global development scene. For example, Baris, you have like a ton of experience in Netmarble that you carry with yourself, and you bring into the hyper casual development thing. It's worth a lot. And we, for example, we do not have such an experience here. We can make good games, but we cannot publish the games, we cannot market the games, and this is the big difference that we have. And the other thing that the hyper casual game development in Iran was not very successful locally, because the old monetization method is heavily relies on video ad and rewarded ads, and this is something that we lack. We are not connected to the international ad mediation networks as much as it should be. So for developers in Iran, it doesn't make sense to focus on hyper casuals that are going to be published in Iranian market. Again, it's a tough challenge, because if you want to be a hyper casual developer, you will from the fly you have to be competing with top hyper casual games from international markets. And you cannot, it's not free to play. In free to play, we publish the game locally, we gain experience, we monitor the KPIs, and then and after it's good, we can publish it internationally. But for hyper casual games, it's not the case, because we do not have good ad mediations, and you cannot make money out of hyper casual games. So I think these two differences are making a huge gap between our Iranian hyper casual developers and Turkish or other places.
Let me also add one thing, because I am also familiar with Iran market. I've been there multiple times. I think Iran has good development power. That is the similarity with Turkey. But of course, the timeline also different. 3-4 years ago was a perfect timing for the Turkish developers to jump into that space. But today it's more challenging market. So now Turkish developers, they are very well educated in the market. So you can find hundreds of people experienced in that market. And now the market is very, very challenging, high competition here. So you have, even if it's hyper casual, maybe 4 years ago, many people were saying it was a simple game. Today, it looks simple, but it's not simple.
Yes,
exactly. The SDK, you integrate the feature, you put the client size, everything again is so important. We see while we are developing an RPG game, there are many complexities. Now hyper casual has similar ones, because it's a high competition market right now. So the market condition also changed, and because of that, now at Joy Game we are working with multiple studios, but the working methodology changed a lot. Like 2 years ago, we were just working with the studios, and they were just sourcing games to us, and we were the global publishing part. But today we have the game designer team, we have the tech team to support the studios. We are supporting at the ideation stage. We are sharing the trends, everything, because now it's the time to develop a game all together. We have to think on the game. We have to develop the game all together, because you are competing with many companies at the same time.
Well, thank you for the comments. Definitely, I think the developer power is development power is the main similarity. The access restrictions in Iran is definitely making some things harder compared to Turkey. But it's a challenging times for sure. Market has shifted a little bit. Baris, do you see some contribution from hyper casual developers, companies to other genres, considering the current challenges right now?
Yeah, well, we are focusing on hybrid casual, by the way. And we first started to announce this as hyper casual 2.0. Then all the industry gave a much better name, calling it hybrid casual. I think it's a good contribution from the hyper casual developers to the gaming industry. Hybrid casual, I mean, in general, what we call hybrid casual is you develop in a short period, not as short as hyper casual, but still it has a short development cycle. Still, the methodology, you start with CTR, CPI test. So first you test the marketing side. You have to find proper user acquisition cost, not as low as hyper casual, but still it should be low. Then you test the mechanics, and then you develop the game. But while you are developing the game, you are adding more features. You may have in-app purchase. You may have more features for retention. So in summary, you are adding some RPG features on top of a hyper casual game. Now, I think this is the biggest contribution from the hyper casual developers to the gaming industry. This is the methodology hyper casual game developers learned successfully, and combining it to the common game industry mechanics, know-how, and it forms the hybrid casual. And I think the future will be the hybrid casual, especially small, medium size for small, medium size studios.
Yeah, I agree. Taha, what about in Iran? Is there a shift and some contribution from the know-how of hyper casual games to other genres?
First of all, are you having me clearly? Because I think I'm having, okay. So yeah, well, as you said, in terms of hyper casual games, we are kind of behind in the timeline. So yeah, it's for me, it's like that. Every game studio which is focusing on hyper casual games, they should be kind of looking for inspiration from other genres as fast as possible, because everything is changing so fast. For example, 4 years ago, making a hyper casual game was like making one simple mechanic, but now it's shifting more towards, for example, online features. For example, from .io types of hyper casual games that are coming, you have to have kind of online features as well. And now, after the post IDFA world, now we are trying to kind of find new ways for marketing and user acquisition. So I believe changing the platform and changing the channel that you're going to go and bring in users will change and will affect the content. You have to, change the content. You have to introduce new things. I strongly think that, the economy is the main thing that should be, considered regarding the new, waves of hyper casual games. People should be looking in other free-to-play games in terms of the the big meta and the economy, because it's going to affect the the user acquisition and the user lifetime. So but since I don't have hands-on experience with hyper casual game, I cannot kind of comment on what's the exact trend and what's exactly is going to change. But as Baris said, the hybridization is the key right now. So my suggestion to our fellow hyper casual developers is just try to stay relevant to the whole trends and try to follow the trends, and do not focus only on the things that you're making, that you want to make, because it stops you from progressing.
Well, nothing is easy. Definitely some challenging times, but as you said, keep it relevant and keep working. Well, we said the development power is one of the biggest similarities. We have another similarity, which is people going to other countries, what we call brain drain. I think that's also one issue, because it's difficult to keep the know-how if people start working abroad. But you've been in the industry for a long time. I think a lot of people that you trained as well went to other countries, continue their career in somewhere else. What do you think about this, considering Turkey's current situation?
Well, I have a bit different angle on brain drain issue. So my angle is brain drain is not a problem for a country, as long as you can drain brain from other countries. So that is my focus. On Turkey side, gaming industry doesn't have any problem. Saying it doesn't have any problem, of course, it's not correct, but I mean, we don't have any major problem. Mm-hmm. Of course, problems everywhere, but not a major problem, because today gaming industry is generating money. Mm-hmm. We have multiple successful companies. They are really, it's not about only valuation side. They are really earning money. They are generating profit, and they are giving good salaries to their employees, and they can hire anyone from anywhere else. So that is the situation of the industry, and that is the important part. So when you have such an industry, no one can drain brains from you, because you can let them go to other countries, and from other countries you hire the better ones. Mm-hmm. And now it's happening. For example, at Joy Game today, we have 2 Russian game designers, mm-hmm. highly experienced game designers. Some of our developers in our studios are Russians, Ukrainians, people from Poland. So it's not about being drained or be drained from other countries. So you have a more multinational environment. But that's another challenge because Turkey, Iran also similar. I have been to Korea for long years. I spent very long time in Korea. Korea is similar. We are all Turkey, pure Turkish country. Korea, pure Korean country. When you work in a Korean company, everyone speaks Korean. When you work in a Turkish company, everyone speaks Turkish. I'm sure it's the same in Iran. So that's a change the companies are facing today in Turkey. That is, as the management, that is the challenge we have to manage. We have to take care. If you can manage the company as a multinational environment, you don't need to fear about the brain drain. Of course, as long as your business is profitable at a global scale, if you are generating revenue from global. But of course, if you are generating revenue only from Turkey, then it's very difficult. It would be very difficult with these currencies, with these exchange rates to hire people from the other countries. That's my point. That's why gaming industry is, in Turkish gaming industry is attractive. People are willing to work here. We can hire people from Turkey, the best talents from Turkey or somewhere else. Or a Turkish just migrated to US, spent time in 3 years in US, then we can hire them back. And on top of it now, remote working. Yes, remote working is accelerating the brain drain, but on the other side, we can work with different nationalities very easily before they are moving to Turkey. So as long as you manage it, I think, again, for game industry, for successful game companies, it's not a major issue. We are not bind with the Turkish talents only. But if we were talking about the other industries, the brain drain problem in other industries in Turkey, yeah, I would say something else, but that's not the topic.
I think definitely remote working makes it easier. The convenience of the game industry, ability to work with people from abroad. Yeah. So if the management can create a multinational culture in the company and can hire foreigners, let's call it, it's not a problem, as you said. Well, Taha, as I know you never left Iran, you stayed there. How do you think this challenge for Iran?
Well, the brain drain problem is something that is present in all the ecosystems in Iran. It's not related to games or anything. So it's a kind of a nationwide problem, and we have to deal with it. But in my idea, there's when something is out of your hand, and you can do nothing about it. You should stop worrying and you should, try to kind of adapt to the whole situation. So, the brain drain is something that comes natural with all the, the economical, political, and all the things, all the situation in Iran. So this is nothing that, we can do. But people are, constantly migrating from and fleeing from the country. And it's always, their goal to, go to another country. It's okay. It's fine. We cannot stop them. But the things that we learned that we should be doing, first of all, is to replace, the human resource. It's the first thing, and the basic thing in all the ecosystem is the education. So we have to always be trying to educate new human resource, new developers, new people to be able to replace the ones that have left. So this is something that we learn to focus on. For example, personally, I've started, a YouTube channel and a community trying to teach and trying to kind of talk about all. It's called Taha Game Academy. It's like everything, because I want to encourage people to learn and try to do new things, because at the long term, we can replace the human resource. And the other thing, the other side of the coin is, as you said, the remote thing is helping a lot. We cannot hire people remotely from other countries, but we can hire people remotely from other places of Iran. This is the thing. For example, we have been doing since 2 years ago that we started to adapt to the whole remote working thing. And now, even if we want to, we cannot, come back to the way that we worked in the office physically together, because we have, acquired a lot of great talents from all across the country without, bringing them to Tehran. This was the solution that we adopted, in the long term. So yeah, this is how we're dealing with it. And the third thing is that since people are always coming and going, we learn to kind of create a knowledge base. So when people are leaving, we control the damage, because if we cannot create keep the knowledge and the experience that people are generating throughout the develop phase in our company, we are losing everything, losing money, and we're constantly being brought back. So we learn to keep a knowledge base, and even if the people are moving, it's okay, we can replace them and we can onboard the new human resource. So I try to kind of look to the ways that we can adapt to the situation instead of worrying about the whole burden, because it's completely out of our hands. And I hope that we can kind of adapt to this new global things, that we can hire people remotely. We can switch to all the communication, everything in English, so people can be join the company from other places. For me personally, I have experienced remote work with European companies, and I really should say that if you do remote work with a company who is not adapted to the remote culture, it's a nightmare, and you should not be doing it. Yeah, it was a nightmare. I had a very bad experience, but anyway, it was an experience all the same.
One comment on top of this. Well, I live in Estonia for 8 years. Somehow I built Mobidictum, a uniting power of game industry in Turkey to bring people and write about news and so on. The thing about people living outside of their country, you actually want to do something for your country. So having this know-how network and so on, and eventually you want to give it back. I also see this in game industry. The people who have experience for years in other countries, they either join as an advisor to one company in Turkey, for example, try to help and so on. I'll move with my last question. We don't have much time. Let's leave it with 40 minutes. The investments, the investment part. So in 2021, we have one article in Mobidictum actually that we listed all the investments and acquisitions happened in Turkey in 2021. Maybe you can link that to this video later on, Gulnar. We got acquired a lot. Ruby Games, Alictus, there was some other investment on hyper casual, well, Rolik, starting with that actually. What do you think about these acquisitions and the effect to the industry, Baris?
Well, I think we have to consider at a larger scale the total investment coming to Turkish game industry. It's enormous. I mean, compared to the total investment Turkey attracted in technology startups, the gaming industry is leading. I mean, if we deduct just one major investment, Getir, the number is huge there. But apart from Getir, the total gaming industry, total investment coming to the industry, both in terms of number of deals and total transaction volume, it's amazing. It shows that it proves that Turkey became one of the most important hubs in the Turkish, in the gaming industry globally. That's why all the investors are focused to Turkey. So today, when you share an investment opportunity, a deal to a global top venture capital, definitely they are interested in. If you go back 6-7 years ago, 10 years ago, you had to convince them to look into the deal coming from Turkey. Now today, definitely they are interested in They have special teams dedicated to Turkey, scouting in Turkey, building relations in Turkey. That's very important for the ecosystem. Thanks to that funding, also the early stage, even the early stage startups can hire the most talented people from Turkey and everywhere else. And it happened after repetitive successes. So the first exit was Joy Game in Turkey in the gaming industry. It was 2013. So it hasn't been even 10 years. So just 9 years ago, Joy Game was the first exit. Today we are talking about multiple exits. On top of it, investments amounts, they are like exits. So the country evolved very fast in many angles. And as a result of these repetitive successes, now all the global investment network is focused to Turkey. By the way, I also want to add one more point. Gaming is very important for the other tech industries as well. You can check Korea, China, Japan, UK, US. In all these well-developed countries, I'm talking about technology ecosystem, gaming is in the core. Gaming was one of the first industries developed, then the others followed. The reason is game industry used multidisciplinary resources, very data oriented and highly competitive at a global scale. Most of the industries start local and stay local. Game industry always go to global and compete with the others. That's why when you are highly developed in gaming industry, then the other industries and other verticals are positively affected, because the talents in the gaming industry with that know-how, they shift to another industry and they create huge difference. Maybe an average person in a game industry become a star person in another tech vertical. That's why Turkey will also enjoy this in the next 10 years. That is one of the reasons why all these investors are coming to Turkey, because they know how it will evolve.
Thanks, Baris. Well, Taha, for the additional comments, how you expect some investments coming to Iranian studios, maybe not to Iran, but
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, sadly, I cannot, say the same for Iran, because as you are aware, because all the sanctions and everything, we, cannot deal directly with anything in any kind of deal coming from outside. But during the past years, I have seen many local game development studios that have kind of moved to neighboring countries like UAE, to Turkey, to Armenia, or other places that they could actually establish their business again and start, dealing with different investments. So, and they have received investment from big companies. That's a huge start for us, but it was not a we, as we talked about earlier, we are kind of behind in the timeline. So it's the beginning for us to start attracting investment from companies outside of Iran. But I think we are on a good track here. But the thing is that, everything is super slow for us, because, everything, we have to kind of do a lot of things to just, accomplish one simple contract or one simple deal. And you know how it is. But anyway, it's a good start. And I think it's the only way that we can kind of grow and we can kind of create big success stories. It's not something that we can do locally. We have to have international help. And I might add again that, having experience from gaming companies, big gaming companies, adds a lot to the growth. When, we are doing everything by ourselves, we are learning everything by ourselves. But even one input from a company, and I'm talking about investment, non-cash investment, a big company just not brings the money or brings the methodology, brings the, the development, methods, brings the vision to the whole development. It helps to grow in a way bigger way than the cash, actually, because in my idea, we lack the knowledge and the experience to work internationally and work globally. But yeah, we are on track. We are moving very slow, and I do hope that in coming years we can see many different Iranian game developers move to neighboring countries and have investments and try to bring the experience and knowledge inside to help the developers from inside the country. And yeah, but today it's very sad, and what we have to deal with.
Well, there's no restriction to travel to Istanbul or Turkey, or create a company in Turkey and get all the incentives from the government plus an investment from the foreign companies. So I expect all Iranian game developers to come our conference on 5th and 6th of September in Istanbul. A little bit promotional advertisement before.
We have to add a banner in the bottom.
Exactly. We can create additional code for the Iranian gaming community. That's not an issue. I think there's a lot of things that we can learn from each other. Well, thank you for Cafe Bazaar for organizing this lovely panel. Hoping to meet with more Iranian game studios and writing their news, successes as well. Gulnar, thank you so much. Baris, Taha, thank you again.
Thank you, Batuhan. It was great, being here today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you. Hope to see you in Q&A session. We are going to manage it later. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day, everyone.
Have a good day. Bye. سلام تاها. سلام خوش آمدی. ما آنلاینیم. یک کم کانکشن شما رو به من ضعیف نشون میده.
کانکشن خودم هم به خودم ضعیف نشون میده.
دیگه باید بسازیم. مرسی که اومدین، دعوت ما رو قبول کردین. تا که خودتون رو دیدین؟
آره خیلی ویرد بود چون که یه نفر دیگه داشت من حرف می‌زد.
واقعا بده. من خودم گوش نمیدم. گفتم اگه جایش بود که چون واقعا فرصت کوتاهی برای ترجمه و دوبله بود، اگه جایی بود که فکر کنید نیاز به توضیح یا مشکلی توی ترجمه بود و لازم میبینین که توضیح بدین، به هر حال زمان خوبی الان.
آره من یه جاشو فقط توضیح بدم چون به نظر میاد که توی ترجمه درست انجام نشده بود که راجب اون پست IDFA ورد داشتم میگفتم اونجا فکر کنم که درست انجام داشته چون اون نمیدونم حالا راجب این موضوع صحبت شده مثلا تو این ایونت نشده چون این تحت تاثیر قرار داد دیگه کل ترند بازی هایپر کژوال و کلا کانال یوزر اکوزیشن و اینا از وقتی که اپل سیاستش رو عوض کرد برای آیدی تبلیغاتی که رو دیوایس ها میداد و دیگه نمیذاره به اون راحتی آدما دیتاهای شخصیشون فرستاده بشه به شرکتایی که دارن در واقع تبلیغ میکنن برای یوزر اکوزیشن و بعد گوگل هم به تبعش شروع کرد این کارو کرد. این اتفاق باعث شد که یه عالمه از ناشرای هایپر کژوال کلا تغییر سیاست بدن. من فرست هند درگیر 2-3 تا از تیمایی بودم که در واقع وسط قرارداد نشر بودن با پابلیشر که یهو هوا شد و پابلیشری که جوابشون نداد، یعنی رفت. پولم داده بود بهشون، یعنی ناشر پول داده بود بهشون که یه چیزی تولید بشه، رفت دیگه نیومد. دلیلش هم فقط همین بود که دیگه نمیارزید که بتونن یوزر اکوزیشن ساده انجام بدن با قیمت پایین انجام بدن. بعد دیگه یه عالمه از مدییشن پلتفرم‌ها هم تغییر سیاست دادن به خاطر اینکه باز دوباره مجبور بودن که چنل جدیدتری بیارن و اصلا این کمپینا یوزر اکوزیشن خیلی عوض شد. بعد اونایی که تونستن نجات پیدا بکنن که خب خیلی سریع مثلا رفتن تو چنل جدید، مثلا تیک تاک رو یهو تسخیر کردن. قبلا تو تیک تاک مثلا گیم دیولپرها نمیرفتن، الان تو تیک تاک شده یکی از چنل‌های اصلی یوزر گرفتن که مثلا 2 سال پیش اینجوری نبود اصلا. و برای همین اون تیکه مربوط به این بود که خب بعد از این که حالا کسایی که الان دارن میبینن اگه از این چیزی نمیدونن با همین کیورد IDFA اپل مثلا یا IDFA پالیسی اپل یه همچین چیزی رو سرچ کنید، انواع اقسام خبرها و دیتیل زیاد راجبش میتونید ببینید که خب چه اتفاقی افتاده بعد این داستان و حالا این چه تأثیری گذاشته رو هایپر کژوال.
یعنی میگی شاید این یکی از عواملی هم بوده که مثلا یک کم، البته خودم که دارم شک میکنم که یکم مثلا هایبرید کژوال رو تقویت کرده، یعنی یکم اون طرف رو هم تقویت کرده.
آره قبلا اینجوری بود که چون هزینه یوزر گرفتن پایین بود، تعداد زیاد و با سرعت بالا و ساده انجام میشد. الان اینجوریه که تعداد زیاد هست، سرعت بالا هم هست، ولی ساده نیست دیگه.
چون اون طرف هم پیچیده است. باریش هم به همون اضافه شده. Hello Baris, welcome.
Hello, how are you?
Hello Baris, good day.
Good day.
Yeah, seeing you from your garden.
Yeah, exactly. I'm outside.
So is the heat wave there at your side? Is it hot? Too hot?
It is windy, so it looks hot,
good.
but you don't feel it. It's windy.
Okay.
Okay, so we are on air, and Taha joined us, and we had a little bit of talk about what we discussed in the panel. So I'm going to translate a bit in the middle of your discussion. So I'm going to interrupt you sometimes. So thank you for joining and putting this time, and thanks for the talk and discussion. Do you want to say hello, add something at the beginning, or I should just go to the Q&A?
No, hello everyone. I hope all the meeting all the conference is fruitful for everyone. So I'm looking forward to build some partnerships with the studios in Iran. Hopefully, this conference will help us.
Yeah, sure. خب بریم سراغ سوالا. Okay. First question is mine. When we met in Istanbul, you told me there is even, like you had a talk about Turkey industry potential and how it evolved in hyper-casual. And afterward, we met, and you told me there is even more potential in Iran than Turkey, and it made me so happy. So, do you remember that? So I'm really curious to know that what was in your mind, and how do you think that this? How do you see this potential in Iranian game industry? Because we had similar topics regarding bringing games to Iran, and you were not this much like interested, but for this topic you were very interested. So I'd like to know how do you see this potential?
Yeah, the potential is I had been to Iran a couple of times, and I had met developers, not only from gaming industry, from other industries as well. And I know there is a development power in Iran. And also I know the potential of the Iranian people. Even if the development, even if they don't have the development skill today, they have the proper skill set, which they can easily learn, and so they can do self-learning, self-education, and they can enter the gaming business as a developer, as an artist, or as a designer in different positions. So I have seen the potential in Iran, the capability. The issue is this talent should shift to the gaming industry, and gaming industry has lots of potential because much easier to generate revenue from the global markets. That's why these talents, if they are aware of this opportunity, the talents will flow to the gaming industry. So there's the opportunity in Iran. I have witnessed these talents. You have done in Iran.
خب من پرسیدم که باریش یه تاکی داشت در مورد صنعت ترکیه، صنعت گیم ترکیه و گفتش که من بعد از اون دیدمش و به هم گفت که ببین توی ایران خیلی پتانسیل بیشتری از این هست که من توی ترکیه میبینم. و من پرسم که چی دید که این حرف رو به من زد و گفت من بارهای زیادی به ایران اومدم و این فقط از صنعت گیم صحبت نمی‌کنم، من مثلا آرتیستای زیادی، دیولپر زیادی، دیزاینرهای زیادی تو ایران هستن، اسکیل ستاشو دارن، ظرفیتاشو دارن، ولی باید آگاه بشن از این که توی صنعت گیم میتونن پول در بیارن و واردش بشن. و حالا یکم هم آخرش رو راستش درست نفهمیدم، حالا از سوال بعدی از تاها میپرسم که شاید تاها هم اگه که اون تیکه آخر رو صدای باریش رو درست متوجه شده بود به هم کمک کنه. So my next question and from participant question is from Taha, that you mentioned in your talk that we need to like we are doing slowly, we are growing slowly, and we need some experience and knowledge from international publishers, and they can help us to grow. And as Baris mentioned, we have this potential in Iran, but what do you think could help us to like make this progress more quick?
Definitely publishers. Sorry, Taha.
Okay, go on. Go on, Baris, if you wanted to add something. Go.
I thought the question must be made. Please go on.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, you can jump in anytime. Yeah, that's sort of okay. So yeah, what I was talking about and what is currently my kind of lifetime goal, trying to make the game development scene in Iran a better place, is to how to kind of get in touch in the outside of Iran, get in touch with the global industry, because I believe that there are a lot of things that can accelerate our growth, and we do not have to invent the wheel, by ourselves. There are a lot of things that can help us. For example, I've been in touch with a lot of different game companies and developers and producers and publishers from different parts of the world, in Southeast Asia, in Europe, in Canada. And the thing is, each time that I sit and talk, for example, with a producer for an hour, and I ask some questions, I feel like I was under a heavy education for like a year. It just there are so many information, so new things, so many new experiences that I feel like I've been left behind for like a decade. In 2018, for example, I was able to join like a 10-day course in Finland, in Helsinki, and we were in touch with the veterans of the industry. The mobile industry in Helsinki is one of the leading mobile industries, and people from like Rovia, Supercell and stuff were talking, having talks and give us workshops. I felt like I know nothing. And after that, I can with most certainty say that whenever that I myself and people around me had progress, it was because they had participated in an online event or were in touch with someone with experience. And I do believe that this will accelerate us a lot. So in my idea, to sum it up, being in touch in the world, participating in different events, taking the chance to participate in online event and networking would be essential for us to accelerate our growth.
Baris, you might add something?
Yeah, the know-how is important. I agree with Taha. The know-how is important. It's not a lottery business. It's not betting. Sometimes gaming is perceived as it's like betting. You just try and see if it goes or not. It doesn't work like this. So know-how is extremely important. Which game you develop, which trend you will follow, how you will develop the technology, the creative part, even the colors you use. It's all based on know-how and experience. That is the important part that all the developers should care about, should focus on. Learning, continuous learning is the key for the success. That's why partnerships with the publishers, listening to industry leaders, any partnership to get to know how is the key for the success.
And might I add something else at the end? It's I'm continuing on what I was saying, and Baris was saying we have to be in touch with other parts of the world. So I'm asking, all the people, all the developers who are participating in this event to try to learn English, because English is the main language that you're going to communicate with people around the world. So hopefully next time we don't have to, translate and do voiceovers or whatever, because it's the key part to become able to communicate in English. Thank you.
So I'm not going to translate this one. Okay, so این سوال پرسیدیم که تاها کش به این موضوع اشاره کرد که بذارین از رو بخونم که جز سرمایه گذاری مالی، سرمایه گذاری غیر نقدی و اشتراک دانش و تجربه، چیزایی که حالا سرمایه گذار میتونن اضافه کنن و ما داریم کم کم توی مسیر آروم حرکت میکنیم و پرسیدیم که چطوری میشه این مسیر رو سرعت بخشید. اضافه کرد که این هدف همه زندگی من بوده. حالا اگه ترجمه هم مثل دوبله آزاردهنده است خودت بگو تا. و من مثلا اگه هر جا سفر کردم مثل ساوث ایشیا یا یه کنفرانسی 2018 رفتم، یه ورکشاپی 2018 بودم که 10 روز بود و توی فنلاند که اونجا راجع به ترندها و این بازی سازی و اینها صحبت کردیم و اون خیلی تاثیرگذار بود و ما اونجا احساس کردیم که واقعا چیزی نمیدونیم و این در ارتباط بودن با فضای بین المللی و با ترندها همیشه همراه بودن احتمالاً فکر می‌کنم نکته بود که می‌خواستی بگی که مهمترین چیزه، یعنی چون ما احتمالاً خیلی ایزوله هستیم باید واسه این تلاش کنیم، یعنی چیزی که باید
دقیقاً همینه. آره، ما در واقع تلاشمون باید بیشتر باشه و که بتونیم با آدمایی که بیرونن در ارتباط باشیم و هر فرصتی خوبه. الان هم مخصوصا که دیگه آنلاین شده همه ایونت ها، خیلی خیلی فرصت خوبیه و آدما میتونیم مشارکت کنیم. ولی خب هدف نتورکینگ، یعنی هدف نیست که بری بشین یه چیزی گوش کنی، هدف اینه که رفت و برگشت داشته باشه، با آدما دوست شی، چت کنی، مثلا در ملاقات بذاری، نتورک کنی که بتونی بعداً استفاده کنی ازش.
و باریش هم اضافه کرد که نوحه‌های فوتوفن‌هایی که آدمای متخصص صنعت میتونن مثل پابلیشرهایی که توی این مثلا هایپر کژوال بودن خیلی میتونن کمک کنن که شما جلو بیفتید. یعنی نمیدونم باریش بود یا تاها بود که گفتن، فکر کنم تاها، که ما چرخو نمیخوام از اول اختراع کنیم و کسی که این راهو قبلا رفته میتونه بهمون کمک کنه که جلو بیفتیم. من فقط چک کنم که سوال دیگه ای نمونده. نه، سوالی نمونده. But anything you might add, I appreciate. So no more questions here, but you might add something.
The last word I can say, as Joy Game, we are interested in working with Iranian game developers, so we can help them to expand to the global, not only publishing side, we can also help on the game design, monetization, trend analysis in various areas, and we can help to develop a good game which can scale to the global markets. Hopefully, we'll create in the future. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thank you and thanks for joining us. باریش گفتن که ما به عنوان جوی گیم خیلی دوست داریم با ایرانی ها کار کنیم و واقعا با ایرانی ها کار میکنن توی استودیوشون نه تنها برای پابلیش بلکه برای گیم دیزاین یا دیولپمنت، یعنی تو تیکه های مختلف استودیوشون کار میکنن و ما هم یعنی در ادامه این ایونت با هم روی اینکه این بازی ها چون از اسپانسرهای ایونت هستن، بازی هایی که میان یعنی اون مرحله ها رو رد میکنن که KPI لازم رو دارن، با جوی گیمز روی انتشارش و اون پابلیشینگ اپورتونیتی همکاری داریم و این فرصت خیلی خوبیه که بتونیم اون وصل شدن به بازارهای بین‌المللی رو هم با کمک جوی گیمز و اسپانسرهای دیگه‌مون تجربه کنیم. حالا اینا همه دیگه قوانینش رو بعداً بچه‌ها بهتون میگن. Thank you, Baris. Thank you for joining us. And Taha, you might add something?
No, I'm fine. I've said whatever I needed to say. So thank you for inviting us. It was a pleasure. So bye everyone.
مرسی، خیلی ممنون تا که وقت گذاشتید. Goodbye.